Hi, it's Kevin here from Music in Leicester, and this is our fifth in our series of podcasts where we talk to people in Leicester's lovely music scene about the lockdown and also about how it might be affecting them and also what they're getting up to these days. First in today's podcast we have Darren Nockles, owner of The Musician. Hello there, Darren.
Hello Kevin, thanks for having me on.
That's quite alright, thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I keep thinking your name's almost Nockles, isn't it? That would make a great bouncer's name.
Yes, Frankie Knuckles, that kind of thing, yeah.
Ever thought about being a bouncer?
Well, you know, I'm not quite built for it, but I'm doing quite a bit of door duty at the Musician here, so, but not in that capacity, just sort of ticket box office stuff, you know.
Oh, okay. All right, now speaking about The Musician, most of the venues around town have got like their own genres that they major in. What would you say is The Musician's genre?
It's definitely, even though we're very eclectic, it's definitely more rootsy genres, so we're talking blues, folk, Americana, ska, soul, prog, all the sort of heritage genres is what we major on, what we feature week in, week out.
Oh, okay. But as long as those, as with all the other venues, along with those, you also do gigs from all sorts of genres, don't you? You get heavy rock and...
Of course, yes. I mean, rock. I sort of include rock. Yeah, rock is one of the genres that we enjoy. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've had some great times at The Musician myself. So, how long has The Musician been around now, Darren?
Well, we celebrated our 20th anniversary back in February.
Wow.
Over the course of the weekend, we had all local acts playing, which we wanted to do, to go represented again. As you just mentioned, the genres, it represented some of that diversity that we've been doing. So we had Scam and House Addiction on the Friday, King Size, and on the Saturday, and on the Sunday it was a whole day of folk and roots, with a wonderful collection of local artists. Wow,
that sounds awesome. And that was in February, was it? Just before the lockdown?
20 years, yes. It was a target to try and reach 20 years, because as you know, Kevin, it's, the music business, the small grassroots music business is a fragile, difficult business financially most of the time. So reaching 20 years was a real achievement for us, and everybody involved. It's a tribute to the whole team, really, and the promoters and everybody involved in the musicians, the local scene, everybody really.
In 20 years, you must have seen quite a few changes in the local scene. How would you say it's changed?
There's I don't see as many bands forming as some time back, but then the national scene reflects that too. There's a whole lot of singer-songwriters being successful nationally and internationally, and that's kind of reflected locally as well, I guess. There's some really, really good singer-songwriters or more acoustic-based music.
Oh, okay, more solo acts.
Yeah. I mean, bands are still forming, and there's loads of brilliant alternative musics out there, but it seems that when you had these key bands in certain periods of perhaps 10, 15 years ago, bands like Blur and Oasis, and folks wanted to form bands to be, to emulate them, to be like them, to influence by them. So there's not so many key bands out there these days that people want to. But now it has definitely split more into more. It's more tribal. And music always has been tribal, but it's a bit more split. With different scenes, and the festivals definitely reflect that these days, I think.
Okay, more acoustic acts. I suppose if there's more acoustic acts, they lend themselves more to doing their live streaming, which seems to be the trend these days.
Yes, that's true, yes, and lots more of that going on over this lockdown period. Yeah, I think some good stuff.
Yeah, okay. All right, Darren, well, we'll have a little bit of a chat after the break, but let's play a song now. Let's play Back to Memphis by Dawson Smith and the Dissenters, who are no strangers to The Musician.
Well, if I ever get back to Memphis, I know just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hang around a house with Elvis, Vicky, Sam and Dave. Stax is the place, Soulville, USA. Remember the truth of the Reverend King. Mississippi River, wash away my sins. Gibson guitars and 50s cars. Lansky's clothes, Jerry Lee's rock and roll. If I ever get back to Memphis, one thing I'm gonna do. I said the one thing I'm gonna do. Go with you. I'm gonna go with you. Gonna take you up to some record. Knock on the door, Mr. Sam Phillips. Peabody Hotel. Johannesburg is the best meal in town. Lorraine Hotel. Bow respect to the doctor. See if we can find Mr. Albert. See if we can find Rufus Thomas walking his dog. Easy tops out at Arc Stadium. All over the down.
That was Dawson Smith and the Dissenters, Back to Memphis. Now let's get back to Darren from The Musician. During the lockdown, Darren, musicians are still able to perform on their live feeds, although they make even less money than they did before, but most of them have day jobs to support them. I guess The Musician is your day job.
Yes, it is, yes, and I've got a routine at the moment where I get up in the morning, walk the dog, cycle down to The Musician, and I'm hopefully using the time productively because I've got painting, scraping, filling, varnishing, doing all the jobs that needed doing, that desperately needed doing, the toilets. We've got a small budget, but we're just making it work.
Excellent.
So I'm trying to my time productively, and that's in the optimistic moment when we can reopen again, which is very unclear at the moment.
So the government and all that, they're providing enough funds and grants and loans to keep The Musician just sort of ticking over at the moment, are they? So you're able to pay your rents and stuff?
Well, we've been very two amazing lifelines. One is the crowdfunder, which the Music Venue Trust set up, and the wonderful folk of Leicester have contributed to that. And yes, the Leicester Council by the government have been issuing grants to small businesses, which will pay our essential bills for however long, and hopefully it's not too long that we will be locked down for.
Okay, brilliant. So how's the crowdfunding thing going? Yeah, I noticed you had set that up a couple of weeks ago.
Locally, I know that all the venues have set one up, and we're currently on around £5,000, which goes a long way to helping us survive. That's just amazingly generous, my folks. It really is.
So presumably then the idea is that, like you say, when we do get back, business, will probably be very, very, very slow to start off with, and that'll just help tide you by then during the first bit until you ramp up to full steam again. Yeah. Is that the idea? Yeah.
That's it. It's very unclear of what kind of socialising we'll be able to do within the music venue. We know within the space of the venue, and it's safe for the folks that work here, the sound engineer, the musicians, and also for the audience and the bar staff. So it's going to be, I hope we'll get more guidance. I know it's not going to be anytime soon because the pubs are only just about been given an indication that it might be July. And then it feels like we'll be much further down the line because of the nature of a gig, how close quarters and visceral it is, and so it's and if we would just have seated gigs, it'd probably be too spaced out, probably wouldn't work.
That's true. Don't you think that, The Musician's called The Musician Pub on its social media, so don't you think you could maybe open as a pub maybe when pubs open?
Oh, only if it's safe, I guess. Most importantly, only if it's safe. We'll have to look at it when the new guidance comes out. And I know that the Music Venue Trust is working to get much stronger guidance because they represent the whole sector of 560-odd grassroots music venues. So the guidelines should be similar for all venues, hopefully.
Okay, I did see this thing in a country somewhere in Asia, a restaurant, and what they had is they had like perspex partitions in the table. So in a table, so you'd sort of like be eating in a perspex partitioned cubicle, but at least that enabled about 2 or 3 people to eat at the same table, and you could actually see each other, although it was through perspex.
That sounds, Kevin. You could even imagine a perspex screen across the front of the stage, so that both the audience and the band were, not were separated. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but these are the kind of things that might be suggested, and there's a whole load of things that we maybe have to do to just so that we can get open again, so folks can come and enjoy live music again.
Yeah, but things will certainly be different. Hopefully that'll only be short term until somebody finds a vaccine for it, and then sometime next year might be able to get back to normality.
Yes, that pesky virus. The sooner that's it's not transmitting, then the more normal life will be. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Darren, got a question for you. One of our aims in Music in Leicester is to get people out to gigs. That's people that don't normally go out to live music. We try and get them out to gigs. Now, one of our biggest challenges is making people aware of our music scene. So often if I meet somebody new downtown and they say, oh, they love going to live music, the best gig they ever went to was in the, I don't know, Wembley Stadium back in 1983, and I say to them, well, there's lots of live music in the Musician just up the road. What can I say to these people to encourage them to go to a live gig at the Musician, do you think?
The gig environment has a lot to offer. It really is a unique and exciting experience. It is. And once people experience it, they can get hooked. Yeah.
I mean, I find it's difficult to explain, but I really enjoy the intimacy of it all, and the fact that the musician, you're one in a crowd of say 50 people or 100 people, so you're 100th of the audience as opposed to a 10,000th. So you being there is really making a difference, and the musicians appreciate that, and you can actually talk to them and find out about their music at the bar or something like that.
Right, the access to the artist is just brilliant, and they're the performers are so brilliant at connecting with the audience.
Yes, exactly.
It's absolutely special about being close to the music. It's just it's all venues, and it's all venues are absolutely essential for new music to start, for bands to start up. That's where every artist that somebody saw is currently seeing at a stadium or a large venue started in a small venue.
Then Kasabian started in the Shed, didn't they? Or
yeah, that's right. And the chance to see those folks first, and then support them through their career is just. That's just a fantastic notion that I think folks should get into. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay then, Darren. Well, when we do get back to normal, have the musicians got any plans for the future-ish, or is just everything on hold at the minute?
We're playing it month by month, so we're having to move artists. It very much looks like we'll definitely be closed throughout June. And it looks like July and August potentially, and hope that September will be a full program of music, and hope we don't have to move that forward. So that's the hope anyway at the moment, and when everybody comes back, it will be fresh, new, clean, and hopefully a few improvements as well, and a working hand dryer in the toilets.
Excellent. All right then. Okay, that's brilliant, Darren. Okay, well, thank you very much for chatting to us today. And so if anybody wants to help you, then they'll have a look. Donate to your crowdfunding, that's on your Facebook page. It's also on our in Music in Leicester. We've got all the crowd funds for all the local venues. So if anybody wants to donate, just have a look at that. And also any of your upcoming gigs, when you do get some gigs coming, will also be in our gig diary, as well as obviously they'll be on your website as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Okie doke then, Darren. Well, thank you very much for that, and I hope to see you in the very near future at a gig in The Musician.
Brilliant. Keep well and stay safe and long live live music.
Thank you very much, Darren. Now we're going to play a song by the Della, who I'll be speaking to afterwards. And here is their latest number called 2020. That was 2020, an awesome song all about the current situation we find ourselves in by the Della, with an amazing video on their Facebook page. I suggest you look it up. Okay, so as if by magic, I only happen to have on the other end of the phone Max from the Della. Welcome, Max.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you very much for taking the time out to join us today.
No problem.
Okay, so you're the singer in the band, is that right?
Yeah, singer and guitarist, yeah.
Excellent. What's it like being in the front band of the band?
Yeah, it's just... yeah, you sing and you stand in the middle at the front. You take all the heckles and have to deal with them. No, it's great.
You like it. If there are any other positions in the band available, would you rather do another one, or are you happy being the singer?
Well, I like playing guitar and I enjoy singing, so it seems a good fit.
Okay. Now, the Della, an interesting fusion of genres. So you're sort of Americana, blues, rocky. How did the mix come about?
It just really comes out of what we write. So we try not to just write what comes out. out, and what comes out are a mixture of those genres. So it's sort of rootsy, bluesy Americana, really, I suppose, is the...
Okay, so it just sort of happens. I presume, obviously, they're the band members' favourite types of music, are they?
Yeah. We're fairly lucky. We've all grown up together, so we've got similar tastes in music.
I notice now, obviously, the song we've just played, 2020, is very current, which is great. Is that typical for where you get your inspiration from? Do you take from current issues, or is there anywhere or anyone in particular that inspires you? Tend to, obviously write about life experiences, and then if obviously blues music, you have to be fairly ill-treated to write an authentic blues song, which none of us are particularly, so we tend to look elsewhere for inspiration. But anyway, really, I mean, favourite TV characters, favourite storylines in TV shows, whatever sort of gets the creative juices flowing, I suppose. And where did you get the name from? Who thought of that? Della Grants?
It was a friend of ours, actually. We were sort of brainstorming when we swapped direction of the band for a new name about 8 years ago, something like that. And Della, we're big Rolling Stones fans, and so the Rolling Stones, their name obviously came from a Muddy Waters song. So we again looked to Muddy Waters for inspiration to start with. Well, not to start with, towards the end of the process. And his grandmother was called Della Grant.
Right.
And she sort of brought him up and encouraged him into music in a time when, it wasn't encouraged to do so. So, and sculpted blues music as we know it. So, so that's where it came from.
Now, in the first part of this podcast, I spoke to Darren from The Musician. I see you've played there quite a lot. Is that kind of where the Della Grant started?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, completely. Really. I mean, it's quite interesting. We sort of formed as a band in 2000, which is when The Musician opened, actually, and we sort of used to go there as young lads with parents and stuff, sort of 12, 13 years old, watching various bands like, I don't know, the Hamsters and Dr. Feelgood and the DTs and stuff like that. And so we used to go there a lot. And then, we luckily enough in 2013, something like that, we played for our first time. I think in our first year we played there a ridiculous amount of times, far too many actually, but all support acts, and they were really encouraging to us. And we've played there religiously every sort of Easter time, and then at Christmas time as well, supporting Dr. Feelgood. We've done that for the last 6 years, I think.
Excellent. But you also play around the country though as well, don't you?
We do, yeah.
How would you say the Leicester scene, Americana blues scene, compares to other cities at all?
We're lucky to have quite a strong fan base in Leicester. There is definitely The Musician is an Americana blues rootsy venue, isn't it? It's we're lucky to have that, and the Donkey as well. To be fair, the Donkey is that ilk of music. We're lucky enough to live in a city where it's appreciated and attended well.
Yeah, that's true. I noticed you've also done the Musicians Crowdfunder on their Facebook page.
Yeah,
that looks like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, this is lockdown skills acquired. One of them is having a little tinker on iMovie, and so I mean they need all the help they can get to, as do all the music venues around the country, which is why this music venue trust thing is big at the moment. And if we can help raise a few quid, then that's great. If not, it passed an hour of my time, which is an hour gone.
That's it. Okay, I see they've currently risen about £5,000, which I think is really, really handy.
That's great, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about that in a moment, but we're going to hear one of your songs now. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it, and would you like to introduce it for us?
Yeah, so this is a song. It's a song about homelessness, actually, and it's a song that was sort of written by us last year. Recently recorded for our next album, which is due out towards the end of the year. It's a song called Home.
this man. No, the thought never entered my mind, but the time it has come where I gotta get away. Lord, I be longing to find home. 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 But if I look what I have become, I take another one. Tell me that I'm on my own, a fading memory of my home. I get high when I'm low, takes me places that I don't wanna go. I'm the one trying to find his way back home. Take a look all around, what's become of me? Yeah, enough to bring a tear to my eye. When all that I own's in a plastic bag, I don't need a lot of things to get by. There were rows and rows of people just like me. Yeah, we need a hand, I'm begging of you, please. I get high when I'm low, takes me places that I don't wanna go. I'm the one trying to find his way back home. Yeah. But if I look what I have become, I take another one. Tell me that I'm on my own, a fading memory of my home. I get high when I'm low, takes me places that I don't wanna go. I'm the one trying to find his way back home. I get high when I'm low, takes me places that I don't wanna go. I'm the one trying to find my way back home.
That was Home by the Della Grants. So I'm here with Max on the other end of the phone. Okay, so Max, what have you been up to this year? Have you been having a good 2020 until we locked down, or has it been a bit quiet for you?
No, we started off the year in did a show back end of January up in Lincolnshire, a place called the Hope Tavern, which is a really great sort of blues roots music venue. In fact, Mick Pinney plays there quite regularly, who's a Leicester blues musician, lives in Germany at the moment, but he's he plays there when he's touring the UK. It's a real gem of a place. Then we did obviously a show with the musician, March the 7th that was, which was great, and that was just at the start of the realisation of what was happening to the world.
That must have been your last gig then, I guess.
That was our last gig, yeah. And then the following week we were in a studio over Newark Way, Superfly Studios, recording sort of part of the next album, and then the world ended.
It certainly has. So I mean, during the lockdown, I noticed you're not doing any live streams or anything in the lockdown, are you?
I did one sort of at the beginning of it, and I did a sort of video cast thing yesterday for publication in Stroud, where I was played live, and I do intend to do another one. It's I will do.
Oh, okay.
I find it a bit of a strange experience, to be honest. It's odd, sort of playing to your phone, and so it's a bit odd, but I'm getting used to it slowly, and I will definitely do something else.
I could imagine, because you don't get any feedback then, so you don't know if people like your music. Or if anybody's watching.
Exactly that,
Okay, so if you do any more live streams, how can people get hold of them?
Just head over to our Facebook page, the Della Grants, and there'll be links on there.
Okay, have you got any other plans for the future, or everything's just pretty much wait and see?
Carry on as best we can, as normal as we can, and hope for the best. Yeah, that is all anybody can do, I think.
Yeah, but you're currently working on your new album, so have you got any ideas when that's going to be released?
Well, we were due in the studio again next week, which is obviously not going to happen. So we've just got to wait and see as and when we're allowed back, and then various other projects would have been disrupted as well. So yeah, we shall. I'm hoping it's going to be this year. It was supposed to be in September. We're going to do an album launch at the Haymarket Theatre,
right?
At the Studio 2 venue there, which Simon Gilroy runs.
Oh, right.
It's a great little thing. We went there collectively last to one of his shows, and fantastic space.
I saw it had opened up again. Is it so that it's Studio 2? So is that like a smaller studio?
Yeah, so Studio 2 is on the sort of balcony level,
right?
So up the main stairs, and then it's in the sort of far corner. It's a probably 300 cap room, but there's been some massive investment. It's got great speakers and lights and stage, and I was really, really impressed. It's fantastic. Okay. So hopefully they can start up again as soon as it's safe to do so.
Thank you very much for chatting to us today. If people want to find out more, it's all on your Facebook page, is it, the Della Grants?
It's probably the best place to go, yeah.
Yeah, okie dokie. Alright then, well, we'll look forward to the release of your new album, whenever it is. So you're obviously still recording some of the songs for that, are you?
Yeah, we're sort of, working our way through it. Let's fingers crossed for this year.
Yeah, okay. Alright then. Okie doke, well, thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, cheers. Thanks for having me.